All right, boys and girls, today is Thursday, April 30th. So it's the last day of April. Can you believe that? So tomorrow will be the start of a new month, May. Can you believe that? May 1st, which means it's the last month of school. Crazy, right? I can't believe it's going to be May already. I'll tell you that much. All right, so your job for today. Okay, so yesterday you read a news story, and your news story was called How Ben Franklin Stole Lightning. Did he steal lightning? All right, so you should be reading our other story and then reading that one again. Okay, I want you to reread it because rereading helps us remember. Okay, we learn new things every time we read it. We don't remember everything we read the first time we read it. So I've reread books several times because I find that I learn new things in it. So I actually highlight books that are mine, not books I don't own, but books that are mine, I highlight important things. And I find that even if I've reread them 2 times, I'm always highlighting things again because I'm like, oh, I don't remember reading that, or I didn't find that as interesting the first time. So I'll highlight things every time I read them. I really enjoy reading. In fact, I have bought 3 new books just this week. Isn't that crazy? And those are just educational books for teacher learning, right? Not even just, like fantasy books that I like to read as well. So you're going to reread that. And then you also should have read the other book that we were reading as well, okay? The Stephanie Kwolek Inventor. You should be reading that one as well, okay? And then on top of our other assignment, I also want you to compare and contrast Stephanie with Ben Franklin. And we have compared and contrast characters before. How are they the same? How are they different? You can use goodness, my brain is not working today. One of the methods we've used before to compare and contrast them. You can just think about it, and we'll share today at 1 o'clock during our class meeting, just comparing and contrasting them, because they're both inventors, they're both scientists, very amazingly smart people, right? And even though they're both inventors and they're both scientists, they both are the same in some ways, and they're both different, all right? They both innovated. We've talked about innovation before and how important that is. And I want you guys to think about that. And how can you do things like them? How can you be more inventive? Okay? I want you to think about that. And that's why we read books like this, kind of give us some inspiration in life. And I find them both very interesting because, I'll be teaching science next year, and I've always loved science. I considered, going into engineering as a kid. Even as a high schooler, I had a couple of places that wanted me to go to engineering school and offered me a lot of money to go to those schools. And I didn't, obviously. I wanted to be a lawyer, and now I'm a teacher, so I went very different, didn't I? But I love science, and I'm very excited to teach science, and I find innovation and that sort of thing very interesting. So I'm interested to see what you guys think of these stories, okay? All right, so your job today is to take any word that you ranked on Monday. So you go back to that list I told you to save. You shouldn't have lost it, and you still need to keep it for tomorrow as well. Take any of the words that you ranked a 0 or a 1, and you are going to find synonyms and one synonym and one antonym for each. You can find more than one, but at least one synonym and one antonym for each word. Now, let's think about what a synonym is and what an antonym is. I always find the synonym the easiest because I think about the S for synonym, and it reminds me that a synonym means a word that is the same. The S sound reminds me that it means the same. So if I'm finding a synonym, I'm finding a word that means something that is the same, okay? So if I want a word let's say the word is sweet. So I'm looking for a synonym for sweet, okay? What's another word for sweet? Goodness, that's a hard one, isn't it? Sweet? Sugary, for me, would be something that means sweet. Something that's sweet, it's something that is sugary, right? So what's something that means the opposite of sweet? That's an antonym, right? An antonym is the opposite. The same, something that is the opposite would be the antonym, okay? So something that is not sweet, something that is the opposite would be something that is sour, okay? So a synonym is something that is the same, and an antonym, okay, that is something that is anti or something that is opposite, okay? So that is your job. Find any of the words on that ranking sheet from Monday, okay? Any words that you have listed as a 0 or a 1, and find at least one synonym and one antonym. On top of that, I would like you to illustrate those words, okay? Draw me a picture that shows me that you know what those words mean, okay? I'm interested to see what you guys draw. Maybe you can color them, okay? Maybe you can make a scene that shows both of the words. I don't know. I'm just interested. I just want this to be like a little mini art project for you today. Get some artisticness going for you today, okay? So your first job is to compare and contrast Miss Stephanie Kolek and Benjamin Franklin. Compare and contrast those two characters. And then to find synonyms and antonyms and illustrate them for any words that you ranked a 0 or a 1. Now, if you don't have any words ranked a 0 or a 1, then I would like you to move on to do any words that you ranked as a 2. Now, you probably know those 2 words pretty well. So this is just in case that I didn't have any of you that didn't have any 0 or 1 words, okay? So that's just a if. All right? Okay, boys and girls. So, last day of April. This is the last time you'll say April 2020. See you at 1 o'clock today.